Vision. We are here to really partner with you. I believe that we are seeking, and tell me if I'm wrong, mindset transformation entertainment. I coined that. I don't know how it came to me exactly. I can't remember because it's been a while, but I trademarked it. And I felt like I know I love spiritual things and and downloads in my body when I'm trying to coach or run run these shows and these interviews, but the brain is part of everything also. We're very, very smart. So if we entertain our mind starts releasing and opening up so that we can open up and be our higher self. That's what Fresh Talks Global Vision is about. We're called hashtag speaker locking arms, that we want everybody to open up their vocals, learn how to really grow their heart. I keep growing my heart every day. I find that there's no end to growing your heart. I don't get it, but I thought there was. I'm like, hey, my heart's open. And I go, oh, I have more. I have more to go. And it's a great discovery. That's what we're here for. I want to keep opening up your voice in a way that you feel you're learning stuff. It entertains you in a way that it really serves your life. I feel like we need to connect to make sure that we know why we're doing something. And that's why I call it the FIT process, FITT with the double T. I believe that last T is about thriving, about celebrating every step that you do forward. Let's say you have a something that you have like 10 steps to get to before you get there, but you only made the first two or only made the eight, which is great. But you're like at yourself, you're like, oh, I didn't do that right. Oh my gosh. And whatever goes on in your mind, the fit process is extremely important because once you get into the bigger goal, you're not, I'll tell you what, you're never really going to get there because even if it's like a weight thing or a specific event, for some reason our brain thinks, nope, I'm going to one up that one. I'm going to make this goal even bigger. And you'll just keep chasing things that really are something that you learn being in the gap of your goal is beautiful. And that's what the fit process is. And that's why I'm talking about it. It's because we're talking with Tara Hayes because we're going to talk about releasing stuff. And she does publishing, but releasing, it could be a program that you're doing. It could be whatever, but I want you to connect with Tara about what it is to be in the publishing company and how people really get terrified. And I'm going to ask her to give us some tools, some things that she helps with people. Let's just say somebody is writing a chapter in a book or they're writing a whole book and they're not giving Tara everything, Tara Hayes, everything that they need. Well, Tara has to go in there and help recenter them and help them get in the purpose of what they're doing. That's what we're doing here. My name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm the host, the producer, the creator, and we've been doing this for 8 years, and I love every moment of it. Welcome in. Tara Hayes, welcome in, my friend.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you for having me.
It's been crazy, Tara. I've had a lot of things going on, and I think about the stuff that you and I are going to talk about. It's literally around mindset. I mean, we're going to be talking about publishing, but I know that this conversation is going to serve some of the stressors that I dealt with this weekend because I feel like this is a mastermind when we come together and we just group these things. We know everything tethers together. So I'm really excited that you're here in this arena because as an author of two books, I'm thinking about releasing another one. And I think this conversation is going to give me that ooh, over that. What do you
Okay.
think? I definitely want to know your story about the Tarafied Publishing, but can you just give me what your what your vibe is about why people may be scared to publish something? Can we start there and then I'd like to hear more about your background in this area too.
Sure. So I would say people are afraid of publishing something because they're afraid of judgment. It's something out of their comfort zone. It may be something that people don't expect from them. So, from my experience, that's what I experienced. The just thinking about the outside world and not having validation and actually going on a path that no one would expect from me. And I think that when we're putting our work out there, we're afraid of being judged by our writing because it's our creativity. And then if people don't like it or they don't receive it the right way, I think that's why we get anxious about publishing. And it's common. It was among myself and among some of the clients that I work with. They had no idea where to publish. That could cause anxiety too. You don't know where to publish, how to get it out there. So I would say those are the reasons why some people are afraid of publishing. They don't know where to start, and they don't want to be judged by their creativity by people who don't understand.
Oh, I love that. That's true. Like they don't want to be judged by people that don't understand because the people that don't understand, it's easy to judge because they're not doing it or they don't
Right.
understand it or they see you in a different way where you're like, yesterday you were this person. You really believe that you can write a book. You think, I'm like, people are not
Exactly.
you. So, okay. So, but then how do you get them over that hump so that they feel the new person that they really are, that they are like, okay, I'm afraid about, I'm going to do it anyway. What's some of those types of conversations? Because I think we're getting closer into me wanting to share your story. So, like, how do we get these people over this? And you too, Fresh Talks Global Vision, or anybody else that's coming as a fan of Tara Hayes, I want to know that.
That's a great question, Rhonda. So I would say, like you said, just feel the fear and do it anyway. Like you're going to be afraid. It's going, you just go through the motions really, and then you just start small. Like for example, when I work with someone, I tell them, "Hey, start building the buzz now about your book." And someone that I'm working with, she actually said she had to get out of her own head, and I actually explained to her, I went through the same experience. It's common, it's normal. Just start with 5 people, start building, getting interest with 5 people. And she was able to take that step. Like before, when I just said, oh, start creating that buzz, she didn't really understand. But then when I said, hey, just tell 5 people, she said, oh, okay, I can do that. So it's just breaking it down into manageable steps. If you're not ready to share to your whole social media, tell 2 or 3 people, 5 people. And then once you start taking those steps, you get more comfortable and able to share with more people. And then you start
Oh,
not dealing with the judgment as much as like, I'm doing this for me, no matter what anybody thinks. So,
I really feel like we have a purpose on this world, like in this world, on this world. I don't get as much in the scared factor if I'm doing my work. Like I
mhm.
get up in the morning and I do my work. Like I get out of that head space and stop thinking about the naysayers because that's those are the people I don't get to serve. I mean, they're on their own journey, but I get to serve. And so I feel what you're saying is like tell those 5 people or 3 people. And it's almost like you're talking to their little kid. Because I can remember when my kids were younger, I would say, I tell them to clean their room, but I don't know. Like this was like a question I had as a mom, but I don't know how to
Mhm.
get them to like finish it. And these 2 ladies, which I love so much, Gina, and I can't remember the other woman's name, but they were like, oh no, I just tell my kids pick up 10 things. I'm like, yeah, but it doesn't finish the room. And they're like, yeah, but that's how the brain works. So I feel like we're dealing with like our younger self when we're dealing with getting out there and really maturing and learning how to do that. So it's almost like you're doing daycare for publishing.
Right.
My friend, how can you share a story about why this really means a lot to you about the writing, about getting people out there, about the scared factor?
Sure. So I can go back to the beginning of my story. I wrote my first book and published it in December 2019, and I followed up with the second book in December 2021 or March of 2021. So, um, and in that process, I was afraid because it's like, um, I'm this shy, introverted girl. And now I'm writing a book. Like, who am I to be writing a book? So I had all those thoughts. I had all those thoughts.
Yeah.
And then as I continued on the journey, it was like, well, I wrote it because I have a bigger purpose. Like you said, a purpose to serve. So I didn't know the purpose of my anxiety as I was younger. I didn't know why I had it, but I think the purpose was so I could meet people like you and connect with people who can share that same experience and relate to my experience and let them know that they're not alone. So that was what encouraged me to keep going. with my journey as an author. And then I became a publisher because I know the fear that comes along with publishing because I was an author first. So, and I know that people are going to need that hand holding, that encouragement. And then that's why I created Tarafied Publishing. I know it sounds like terrified, but it's really transformation and empowerment. You go from that terrified author, scared, to terrified, transformed, and empowered. So that's why I started the publishing journey.
Yeah. How how did you get over, besides just publishing and having that experience, what is it new that you feel you personally matured inside you to finally say, "Hey, I'm not that scared kid. You're going to be okay." What did you find that you had to heal within yourself so that you could be seen and heard and feel comfortable with that?
I would say to heal within myself, I had to do some self-love, self-care, beginning taking care of myself and actually, realizing that I am enough. I used to do something called the race to recovery is realize what you're feeling, accept your thoughts, challenge them, and do the exercise of whatever it is that you want to do. So that was my race to recovery. And it began there. And I just began taking steps and even just talking to other people and realizing that they shared a similar journey as me and just to keep to keep going. And I think talking to other people had really opened me up because I was an introvert, and I realized that to serve my purpose I have to talk to people. So I couldn't stay in that introverted shell, and I just
Yeah.
kept stretching my comfort zone just by doing those things. And then also taking some time to journal that helps me too, like self-reflection, all that,
Mhm.
where I am and where I want to be. And I know that where I want to be, I can't do that in my comfort zone. So that's what made me step out of it.
You know what's interesting is we start realizing we're not the only ones dealing with that. That's why I love group things. Like I love one-on-one because I can really get to get in there and work it with those people. Like I like working with you right now, just us talking about this stuff. But there is something about the group, like when you're just starting to deal with something, you're like so inwardly thinking, I am the only one that deals with that. And your brain doesn't naturally go to start talking to people because you're
Right.
going to realize that wherever you're going, these people have great stories about why they didn't start something. But it's also a great conversation because I'm finding that people may stop because they think, well, I never finish anything. So why am
Hmm.
I going to do this? Like they're already judging themselves and stopping themselves before they even get there.
Right.
When you're working with somebody and you're saying, "Ugh, these things are due, they're not happening. I hear that you're scared, terrified." And so why don't we get into self-love, self-care, and the reflection of I am enough? What are some of the tools or the approaches that you do besides this is the deadline. This is what like, you know what I mean? Like, I think when I first started business 17 years ago, I would have been
Hmm.
all over that. I would have been black and white and just, whatever. And they'd probably get it to me, but it wouldn't be their best work, I believe,
Hmm.
because I was scaring them on time and get it done. And so, how do you keep lifting that motivational space? Because publishing, it's like these words are going to be out there for people. How does that roll for you when you're working with people?
Right. So I would say I'm a deadlines person too, but I know that it doesn't work with everyone. I know that, life happens. So I would say I would just follow up and ask, check in if they're okay, like if they need help with anything. I think the accountability piece is where I really shine. It's like I care about people. When you're genuine, you're authentic, you want to know how they're doing. Like even though they're not making the deadline, it's like, well, what can I do to help you get closer to meeting that deadline? Or do you need to talk to me? Is there a step you think you're missing? So I think those are the things that help me. And then, them writing it out to me, and they'll see what they'll need help with so I can help them better. So I think that's where like the accountability is really where I shine. People have say, oh, I'm so blessed that you're helping me or keeping me accountable. And if I haven't heard from them, hey, where are you with this, on this part of the
Yeah,
project? Have you got this part done? When do you think you can get it done? I don't say, oh, you missed the deadline. I never say that, because it scares people. So
yeah. I mean, you're already
yeah.
scared, so why put more fear? And I've heard of, like, negative reinforcement works. It's like, well, I don't think we're going to get the best out of them that way. And okay, so I'm a coach, and I feel like I've seen coaches out there do stuff where they're collecting the money, and there's like sometimes they make it, sometimes they don't. I'm like, okay, wait, but I feel that that is not like ethically wrong or right, because I mean the person's paying, they get to make those choices.
Mhm.
What I feel is emotional about it, like, but if I'm gonna feel like I'm losing my mojo, my energy, if I don't keep swooping everybody in and like connecting with them, making sure everybody is okay. Like, hey, why haven't you done this? Because that is a way to not just whoever shows up, shows up. It's just
Mhm.
all their fault anyway. Whatever. That's just how it works. Now I didn't have anybody around me to express and say, Rhonda, what you're thinking is actually the way the industry is really going to be going. Because
Mhm.
nobody is going to keep paying if they don't feel like they're served. And there's a reason why they're not showing up. And they may not know it at the time. So I like what you're saying about just the check-in, because it's not like you're saying, okay, you're scared because this, and you're just all over them. You're like
Mhm.
starting to get to know them and what they're personally dealing with, and that you're not acting like, oh, I know what's going on. And I feel like our industry, there's a lot of that going on, and a lot of like just brassiness. So I
Mhm.
find your approach refreshing. In your personal life, and we're going to go there because it's just part of everything you're doing in business, do you find that this helps you tether in with just your lifestyle? Because I know with publishing books, you really want to keep your balance in your life,
Mhm.
so that as you're publishing, as you're moving forward, what you're talking about really, again, all tethers together. So when in your life, when you're feeling like you want to move forward, what are the personal steps? You brought up journaling, but what are the personal steps? What does your day look like when it comes to really honoring what you really want to do? Not that you're accountable because you decided that you're going to be doing that, but you're accountable
Mhm.
because you know that that's what you really want to do. You want to make sure you get everything moving forward. What do you do for yourself to keep yourself moving along?
That's a great question. So for myself is I focus on, I would say, the most important things. So whether it's um, trying to get a new client to sign on, so maybe follow up with them.
Yeah.
So I put the most that I find the things most important first. So maybe I won't get to a social media post that day, and then I'll just say it's okay. You didn't get a post on today, so
Yeah.
just focus on the things that you can control, the things that'll get you closer towards your goals. And I think journaling helps. Like I journal every Monday. I would like to get more
Mm.
consistent with journaling, but
Did you have
just
a
write.
prompt Monday?
Yeah, yep, a Monday prompt. And I think that sets the mood for the rest of the week. Whether it's a personal journal or whether it's my goals, that sets the mood. And then I reflect back on that to see if I hit the goal or if I didn't hit the goal. But I think
Mm.
what is most important is just focusing on, I would say, the revenue driving tasks I focus on. So, and then also,
Yeah.
yeah, also the self care too. Take a minute to just breathe if I'm feeling overwhelmed. So, because it all goes in together.
I know. I like how you're intertwining stuff, because I I think this serves the publishing experience here, is that when you're writing something, we have so many gems and so many approaches in the way that we do things that we can get in our head and put little bit in there, because we have so many things we do. We don't know where to go with all
Right.
those things, or we're just afraid to
Hmm.
have everybody experience all the gems that we have. So I love how you're intertwining just in straight conversation about journaling, but you're also talking about revenue driving. You're talking about, and I really do believe all is one. Like that, I think about the Oprah thing years ago. We see this woman doing incredible things, and then we find out that she has a thyroid journey she's going on. But we also know that she's had like this adrenaline stuff going on. And I think we missed that opportunity then, which we're bringing forward now, is that all of that really is packaged into one deal. There's no way that you can have that muster to publish something or keep moving forward at your frequency or your energy that you want to really keep serving and keep burning and burning yourself out, because I think entrepreneurs have an issue with that, and we're
Right.
learning about that. People that are publishing that you work with, what kind of books are they publishing? Is it specific ones or um, nonfiction to fiction? Like, what do you do? What do you publish?
So I prefer to publish nonfiction. I worked with the poetry, but it had like
Mhm.
nonfiction themes. It was about her life and her growth and acceptance and her challenges. So it's called it was called Gardens from Graves, which we love the title. And I'm working on a workbook about self confidence for tweens and teens girls of color.
Ooh,
So to teach them, self confidence. And I also did a business book for a bookkeeper, basically, promoting her services. So I've done
wow.
mostly nonfiction. So those are the genres that I love to stick with because they're inspirational. They tell a story, Well, I know fiction tells a story too, but
Yeah,
they're more aligned with who I am. Like, since
yeah,
my books are about my experience with anxiety, I feel a deep connection with the wellness space. So I like to, publish those type of inspirationals, how tos, and
yeah.
wellness, and even memoirs, nonfiction. Those are the types of books.
Where do I go with this? This is so great. The because there's so many things that start coming up, just like thinking about the journey of n- knowing that everything comes together. What is something that you would like to share that I haven't had an opportunity to ask you about? What is something that you like to talk about? Maybe something you're working on. I'd love to hear what's on your mind.
Okay, great. Well, sorry. That came across awkward.
Okay, great. Whatever. Yeah.
So, I'm going to be working on a workshop. It should be coming out January 25th. So,
Uh-huh.
it will be on how to use publishing your business, because I know a lot of people, you know, I say that the book is basically your business card. So, I would say, you know, teaching people how to use your book, how publishing could, help your business, how publishing could grow your business. And I know that a lot of people find that writing a book could be daunting, but if you have someone helping you,
Yeah.
then it makes it easier, so you can get accomplished. And it's about accountability. So
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be a workshop that I'll have coming up at the end of this month.
I like that. I launch podcasts, and I think too many people publish books. My 2 books, I could have monetized on that. I was doing media. I
Hmm.
was out there. People, from different news stations would come directly to my studio. So
Hmm.
I was doing good, but I wasn't getting anything out of it, which I could have.
Hmm.
And it was just not having the right coach in my space at that time. That was 15, 13 years ago. But I mean, now that I've been doing this for a while, of course I'm coaching on it, but that's the thing that we're missing. It's like we get so inspired and we think when I get that done, that's what's going to get me. But there really is strategy in this. So when we're
Right.
talking about strategy with a book and what you're doing in your workshop, give a little drops of what this workshop really is. Like, how do you get them really connected with their business and what they're doing out there to the book that they're releasing, and how that can up level everything they're doing? What's that workshop like? Where there's a few things you're going to be pulling out. I'd love to hear some of the subjects or what you're doing.
Sure. So I would say that the first thing you should start with is building your audience. I know that, well, as business owners, most likely, hopefully we build our audience, but
Yeah.
know your target audience. Like, that's like number one. So that's part of the workshop. And then also, why part of the workshop will be why you need that book, because it builds your authority, right? It builds your, your credentials, and makes you the authority in the space. So we'll be touching on some of those subjects, and then the publishing process. It might be overwhelming, for some people, because people don't know which platforms to use.
Yeah.
So I'll go and I'll break down which are the best platforms to use, and how to begin marketing your book and your practice. So those are some of the things that I'll be going over in the workshop.
Yeah, it feels like you're up leveling their business. They're revisiting things because sometimes when you put that stuff off the side to do something else, okay, we're
Mhm.
gonna publish, and like all of a sudden business goes down because that's what it's about. But I love what your workshop's about is helping people be able to multitask but feel like it's a one thing.
Right.
And so whatever you're guiding them in, it's going to help them get more excited about because it's going to help their revenue build if they can keep experiencing how what I'm writing here is what I'm doing over here. And
Right.
so I think that helps the frontal cortex be able to like so if somebody's saying something, it's already there in the front of the mind because you're
Mhm.
just doing the exercise of publishing something, but you keep coming back to the years, the experience you have of what you're doing. I can find this workshop being pretty powerful. When you're going to have a link for it, please give it to us because I want to put it in because right now we're going live right now. We're going live in Facebook and then also YouTube. And so I want to make sure that we keep increasing the information that we have so that
Okay.
people know when they're getting this that the latest stuff that you're doing. I want to make sure I put that in there because people need this. Because I know when
Absolutely.
I'm launching podcasts, I can't just launch the podcast. It's easy. Go get a camera, go do this, go do that, and just start your podcast and just start talking. But you are taking, hey, take a step forward, back for a moment, and let's kind of play with and peruse what you're doing
Right.
so that we actually do this correctly. And I
Right.
think that would help people not be so terrified, huh?
Exactly.
They don't
Right.
feel like they're new at it. Like, I
Right.
think everything, like, Tara, like everything you've ever done, that is like who you are right now. Like, even if you decide to go do something different, it's like it's not really new. There's a reason why you're doing that, but like all that experience and emotional IQ on the ups and downs of everything you've done. What do you think
Right.
about that?
Right. I would say I agree with you that everything I've done, all my experiences come around full circle. Like for example, like when I wrote my book, I did do a bit of anxiety coaching, but then I felt that I should probably come over to self-publishing. But when I thought I was leaving anxiety coaching, I'm still not because publishing, like there's anxieties that come along with publishing. So I'm
Oh,
still doing anxiety coaching. So it
mhm.
everything does come full circle. So,
But you see, that's why people need to have these conversations to really recognize that you never left at one
right.
thing. And for example, for me, I was an accountant, CPA. I spent years until I finally passed the CPA exam, out there
Mhm.
consulting, doing all those things, cut it off, don't know anything about it, whatever, because I can't even, there's a reason why I left. Because I
Mhm.
loved it. But raising kids and stuff, there's its own story. So I'm like
Mhm.
cutting myself off. I'm going full off into the health industry, getting back into it since I was 19, just kind of revisiting all that kind of stuff. So if I cut myself off from that, well, when I finally welcomed it back, something different happened in my business. I bet
Mhm.
you experienced that too when you started bringing that together. And oh yeah, I am doing the same exact thing, but I've up leveled.
Right. Yeah, I had that experience because like first I was just trying to help people through their anxiety, but then I wanted them to have an experience, like I wanted them to have something like not just the help with the anxiety, but I wanted them to have something to put their story in. So I think that's
Ooh.
the up leveling of it. Like you have that anxiety, but you can share it here. So I think that was, the up leveling of it.
Yeah, because if somebody's seeking you, that means they probably have a big story.
Mhm.
And that story gets to be put in a book.
Mhm.
And they're gonna grow from it even more. So I
Right.
feel it's very powerful. I know I have your links and stuff, but while we're here, I'm just going to type it in also.
Okay.
Where is the, let's go with your website. What's your website? Let's just put it in here. So, and where they can find you for the publishing stuff, is that just your front page, or is there a specific area you want them to go to, or?
Um, they can go to the front page. It should be my Calendly link should be on there for them to connect with me
So
on a
connect with
call.
you through the calendar. Okay. So
Mhm.
what's your website? Is it Tara Hayes or is it Tarafied Publishing?
It,
Publishing?
it's it's Tarafied Publishing.
I've been there because I was just checking you out while I was here. So tarafiedpublishing.com.
Yes.
Okay. I think I got that right. What do you think? I'm going to share this. Did I get that right? It's on the bottom corner.
It's the
Tarafied
bottom.
Publishing. If you look at, you may be in our other window, but I think I have it TARAFIED publishing.com.
Yes, that's it. Yep.
I did it. Hey, my friend, thank you for being here with us. I hope I served your space and being able to really, you getting out there to be able to share really the experience of how it is scary to get our words out there. So the work that you're doing is sounding incredible. Give us the link to your workshop so when we're doing post marketing, we get to add that in because people really need that. They want just to bring all their gems together of what they're doing and how that's going to help them just by getting their words out there too. It's just the next level.
I sure will. Thank you so much, Rhonda. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Fresh Talks Global Vision. Here we are, another conversation. Remember, hashtag speaker locking arms. Keep your mindset transformation going. Entertain yourself. Remember, we're here for the bigger picture. And I was thinking about this morning. I woke up and I was thinking this. This is what I'm thinking. This is what's going on. And all of a sudden I started laughing at myself. I'm like, oh, there's more stuff out there in the world. Yeah, it's not just about me. I may be making a joke about that, but if you think about it, Tara Hayes was talking about being terrified and anxiety. And a way to play with that is to really be able to see yourself out there, that there's so many people like you. And the more that you lean in and you really do take this on as like the speaker locking arms, that every time you say a word, you think about where it's coming from. So we can stop the blaming and shaming that's happening out there. I know we can't change the whole world, but more people, more people. What does that mean? You have more like-minded people like you. We want more people like that. And there's many people that are on the pivot. They're interested, but they don't have the information. Let's keep speaking to those people, just saying hello, I love you, appreciate you. I mean, don't tell everybody you love them, but I mean, like with your voice, just that you're nurturing and nice. And that's what we're trying to do here. So enjoy your day, everyone. Keep your motivation going. The world needs you right now. There's too many things going on. We can change it literally by one person because it's like a smile. You keep bringing bigger and bigger and bolder. Tara Hayes, appreciate you.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you, Rhonda.
Namaste, everybody.